Hey everyone, so excuse the rough look today, but I saw a movie last night and I was thinking about it today when me and my kids were talking about it, and I wanted to relate it to our business. So it's a little goofy, but just stick with me. So if you have kids and you haven't seen the movie Zootopia yet, you have to go see it. It's really cute. My kids loved it. We went last night. But something that they say in this movie is that anybody can be anything they want. You don't have to be a big, bad, scary predator to be a police officer, is kind of how this movie goes. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, and this reminded me about a class at Black Status Retreat. And this was a class with Rob Morris. I forget his exact title, but he's like head of health, fitness, something like that. But it's not just, him teaching classes at the gym. It's really all around fitness, mental health and all of that, not just being physically fit. That's not what he concentrates on. But when we went into this class, he had a list of what we thought was his background, an undergraduate here in this degree and a master's in that degree, and he taught here and he did this and he did that. And then he said, you know what, that's actually not me. And he crossed it out. And then he listed the things he had done, which he does have, a pretty awesome background. He is part, I don't follow football, but he's part of a Super Bowl championship team. I believe he even received like MVP maybe. I don't even know what team he was on. I should know that, but I don't follow football, so excuse me. But he did list the things he had done, and it was still very impressive. But when you think of someone in his position, he's an executive at Unique, that he would have this big long list. Then he said, when he was talking to Derek about getting this job, in his mind, he was a little intimidated because he thought, top level presenters, super organized, always on time, business degree probably. And he had this list of the things in his mind of who we are as Black Status presenters. And we all kind of laughed because we were like, super organized? No. Always on time? Never. Really good at photos or makeup or professional this, professional that. And none of it was true. And of course, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, but we were not that list of things that he had in his mind of who we are as top leaders. And the message I want to tell you today is that anybody can be a Black Status presenter. Anybody can be an elite presenter if you're willing to put in the footwork. It is a lot of work. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't even happen sometimes in 6 months. There are some people who it took them 2 years to get to Black Status, or a year and a half to get to elite. And that's okay because it's your journey. So you don't have to be a professional makeup artist. You don't even have to know that much about makeup. If someone 2 years ago would have told me, hey Micah, in 2 years from now, you're gonna be a top presenter, a top level makeup, beauty consultant, whatever you wanna call it, for the fastest growing direct sales company in the world, I would have laughed because number one, I don't know very much about makeup. I have learned a lot in 2 years, but I don't know as much as a professional makeup artist. There are people on this team who do way better makeup than I do, who know way more than I do. And I wasn't really, not that I didn't like direct sales, it just wasn't my thing. I found it annoying and spamming. I was like, eh. So if someone would have told me that, I would have laughed. I didn't fit into what I thought a makeup top beauty consultant was for the fastest direct sales company in the world. But I did take that leap, and here we are almost 2 years later. And what I can tell you is that I truly do believe anybody can be successful at this business. You don't have to be a professional makeup artist. Like I said, you don't even have to know that much if you are willing to learn. Now, I will tell you that if let's think back 2 years, if I wouldn't have ever watched a YouTube video, or, you know, there are ladies on this team or on other teams who, when I see they know what they're doing, guess what I do? I go watch them. When they know what they're doing with their makeup, or I'm still learning eyebrows. Eyebrows is one thing I just can't get down. But those girls who know how to do eyebrows, I'm going and I'm watching their videos. It takes effort on my part to improve. So in the past 2 years, like I said, my makeup, I mean, there's still lots of improvement that could happen, but I have improved because I was willing to go watch videos. And there were times where I didn't wear makeup all day, but the minute my kids went to bed, I was going to my bathroom and putting on makeup. And my husband was like, "Are you crazy? Have you lost your mind? Why are you doing your makeup at 9 o'clock? And it's like, well, that's my time to practice. And I still do that. Last night, I did my eyebrows because I wanted to practice with the new stencil. So you don't have to be a professional makeup artist. You just have to be willing to learn. And it can't be your leader coming to you and saying, okay, you need to work on your eyebrows or you need to work on your makeup. Here's this video. You have to be willing to go do that yourself. You have to be willing to realize, I want to be better at makeup, so this is what I have to do. And I don't always just follow unique presenters. I get on YouTube and I'll look up, you know, certain eye looks or certain ways to apply bronzer, and I'll go watch that. There are tons of makeup bloggers, or I guess vloggers on YouTube that you can watch, and they are amazing and you can learn a lot. So you don't have to be a makeup artist. You don't have to have a business degree. You don't have to have any direct sales history. I have none of that. None. I have no business degree. In fact, I don't have a degree at all. I didn't finish college. I don't have any direct sales history. I don't have any sales history. In fact, I was a stay-at-home mom prior to joining Younique. I did work for another stay-at-home company, but it was just mindless clicking of the mouse work. It wasn't, on my end, what I had to do was not, it didn't help me, you know, with my Younique journey. I worked at a dental office before I got married and had kids. Something me and my husband always agreed on is that I would stay at home with our kids until they were in school. And so while I love being a stay-at-home mom, I joined Younique for the sisterhood, the experience, to give me something to do. I was already on Facebook, so I didn't have any type of history of direct sales or sales in general, really. I didn't have a big following. You don't have to have a big following. We can teach you how to have one, but what you have to be willing to do to not necessarily get a big following, but to expand your network. You know, I have my video on why it's important to get outside of your circle. That's something I learned, I want to say, like on my very first day. I asked, when I joined, Carly had just hit green status within like the month or two prior to that. And the very first question I asked on her team page is, what is your number one advice to a new presenter? And someone said, get outside of your network. And I was like, well, what does that mean? So I had to go figure it out. And as soon as I figured out, I was like, this is how I'm successful. I get outside of my network. So that's what you have to do. You have to be willing to do online parties, or if you do the face-to-face selling, which is fine, you have to really be outgoing and ask for referrals and do them constantly. You can't do one consult a month and maybe they do purchase $300 or $400 or even $500 in makeup, or one home party does $500 or $600, but you can't be satisfied with just that. Just like I'm not going to do one online party and be satisfied. You have to want more. You have to go get more. If you truly want to get outside of your circle and build your network, that is what has made me successful with Younique for sure, is expanding my network. Because when I joined Younique, I only had like 200 friends on Facebook. And I knew after that one person said, you have to get outside of your network, and it clicked in my head what that meant. What that meant to me was those 200 friends on Facebook were not gonna buy makeup from me every single month. They might not buy it at all. They may not support me. So I had to go find people who were willing to support me, who wanted to listen to what I had to say. So I had a lot of parties, and I still have a lot of parties, and I add people to Facebook. And if you have a bad party, if it doesn't have a seller, it doesn't qualify, that's okay. If, and only if, you make connections and you add those people to Facebook and you get new parties from there. So while you don't have to have this big, long background of awesomeness, you have to be willing to work hard. Put the work in, and a year from now or 2 years from now, you have this success and you get to say, I'm at the top of the fastest growing direct sales company in the world. And your mind is blown because you're like, I don't even know how I got here. All I did was I put my head down, I watched videos, I read files, and I worked non-stop. I'm not gonna lie. I worked non-stop, and I still do. You can ask anyone who knows me. I'm always working, and I've had to make a lot of sacrifices, but I knew if I wanted to get to this position, that's what I had to do. And I want to tell you, if you're here and you're struggling because you've been here 2 months and maybe you're not growing as fast as you had hoped, it's okay. It takes time. Melanie and Derek's sister, Kara, she's a Black SaaS presenter with Younique. It took her 18 months to hit Black status. Her brother and sister own the company. Okay? Her journey is amazing. If you haven't seen her YouTube video, you have to go watch it. She has such an amazing journey and story. Everyone's journey and everyone's story is different. Just because your friend or someone in your upline or downline hit green status or black status extremely fast, or what you feel like is extremely fast, that doesn't mean you have to do it. Someone I follow is Sarah Robbins, and I believe she says it took her 5 years to have a 6-figure income. Just imagine if she would have quit. She has this huge empire now because she was willing to work really hard for 5 years and build a foundation. So don't get frustrated. Don't quit. Keep building your foundation. And as you build your foundation, your empire will start to grow. And like I said, it may take a year or 2 years, but nothing comes easy. You have to be willing to work hard for it.